What's going on, everybody? Dr. Chris Featherstone here for yet another episode of the Leads in a Row. I'm here with none other than, there he is, former head writer of WWE Raw. He is Vince Russo. How are you, my brother? There it is, right there, man.
What's
there
going on,
it is.
Dr. Chris? What's up?
You know what, man? I don't even need to explain how I feel. I'll just show it. Show it, man. That's where you are. All right, man. How are you?
I'm all right, Dr. Chris. I see you're a little under the weather, bro.
Yeah, man. Been battling bug the past couple of days, man. And but gotta trudge through it, man. Gotta trudge through it.
Suck it up, man. You got to throw yourself in suck it up mode, bro.
Yeah, that's called a cough drop. That's called a cough drop, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna do it, man. We're gonna do it. I am here to work for my family. I am a hardworking man. Am going to continue to be a hardworking man. My son's birthday was today, and I was able to get him the gifts that he wants. He ended up crying because I gave him a gift. He's been wanting a watch for a long. I mean, he's a big Beyblade guy.
Yeah.
So I bought him. So my wife and I, she picked it. I bought it. And so she picked a lot of Beyblade stuff and some gold Beyblades and stuff. That's what them kids like nowadays.
What is that? What is Beyblades? What is that, bro?
So it's like, so they do like 3, 2, 1 letter rip. And then you like pull this zip, like this little zip thing. And they have this ring, and like whoever's blade like knocks the other one off or stops or something like that, you win. So it's a thing with the kids.
Interesting, very interesting, man.
Yeah. So he's really big into that, but he's been one to watch. He's like, man, he's like, I really want to watch. I just really want to. He's been saying that, and so we went camping a couple of weeks ago. And my wife was getting some rest, and I was out in the campfire, and I was teaching my 3 kids how to make campfire hot dogs for the first time. So we had some skewers,
nice,
some dogs in there. I made a huge fire in the pit, and so we were cooking fire. So we were cooking hot dogs, and we were just bonding and chatting for a while. And I was like, make a wish. And one of the wishes that he was like, it's like, I wish that I can get a watch. Right. And so I was taking mental notes of all that. That's right.
Great, man. That's awesome, bro.
So he opens all of his gifts, and he's getting excited. And I was like, oh, here's a gift right here. So it was in the bag. My wife prettied it up. So he pulls the gift wrap out. He didn't see anything. He wanted the gift wrap, and he was like, and he cried and gave it back.
Can we talk about this for the next hour? Can we?
Yes, we sure can. We absolutely can.
Let's please continue this conversation for the next hour, bro.
So he cried, and he's like, I love you, Dad. Gave me a big old hug. And
man, look at that. That's awesome.
It was awesome. So yeah, well,
I got to tell you, Chris, your son wasn't the only one crying tonight.
But
I cried.
Who else was crying today, Vince?
I cried tears of joy, Chris.
Okay. Did you 2 hours?
Yes.
Starting October 7th? Yeah.
Bro,
guns out.
Guns out. That has been the best news I have heard concerning professional wrestling.
Yes,
that probably is the best news I've heard in the last 10 years.
Yes, indeed. I think it's only for the end of the year, though.
Bro. If they're doing this, they're going to start Netflix 2 hours, bro.
I think they're going 3 hours Netflix because I hope it's not. I hope it's 3. I hope it's 2 hours.
Yeah.
But the advertisement is for starting October 7th until the December, I think, 30th season finale. It'll be 2 hours.
It's going to be 2. Netflix is going to. They're setting it up for Netflix to be.
I hope.
Bro.
I hope.
Yes.
But are they going to go back to the concept of, well, we want more ad revenue, so we want that extra hour for Netflix. So,
but Netflix doesn't work off of ad revenue though.
Oh, they get ads. Oh yeah, they get.
Yeah, I have the
they have ad free tiers.
Yeah, that's what I have. I've got ad free, so I don't realize there's ads in there. Yeah.
It's you there's Hulu, all those streaming services, man. They get their money with ads. I mean, it's the same type of business model with everything else. So.
I just want to sum this show up for people that actually believe that the WWE cares. And I'm going to sum this up real easily. Luckily for them, Monday Night Football was not a very good game. Mm-hmm. The first quarter was competitive. After that, it was all 49ers. But the WWE does not know that going in, Chris.
Yeah.
They've got no idea how this game is going to turn out. With that being said, okay, bro, it's the season premiere of Monday Night Football.
Yep.
We got Aaron Rodgers coming back. We've got the Super Bowl team, the 49ers.
Yeah, the 49ers. Yeah. Chiefs beat the Ravens by it. Well, they lost to the They lost by a toe.
In the Super Bowl. They beat the Niners in the Super
Bowl. Yeah. I'm talking about last week. They lost.
Oh yeah. So Chris, going head to head with that, not knowing it's going to be a blowout.
Right.
This sums up everything, bro. I don't want to hear any of you marks ever open up your mouth to me and disrespect me again. Because if this doesn't tell you that they absolutely don't give a crap, bro, at 10:58, we've got Dragunov and Dunn in the ring.
Yep.
At 10:58, bro, up against Monday Night Football with their entire roster, Chris. Yep. The entire roster and the people on that roster. We've got Pete Dunne and Dragunov in the ring. If you're gonna sit there and tell me they give one, what, you're out of your freaking mind. It does, Chris. It doesn't get any worse than that.
To your point, Vince, why do you think that they started with Wired 6 versus American Made, if that could have been the main?
Because they assumed everybody was going to watch Monday Night Football.
There you go.
That's exactly why, Chris. They assumed everybody was going to watch Monday Night Football, so we're just going to wave the white flag, bro.
Let's get this out the way. Let's get this out the way. Yep. All right. Let's go David Duffett to $2. D Jones to J Day. JD Mac and Cheese to QB Giants. There you go, David.
Horrible yesterday, Daniel Jones. Horrible.
Yeah, man. Yeah. David, Raw tonight hit an iceberg called 50-50 booking. I mean, they always do, man. Yeah, I mean, what's different?
It's like you said, Chris. Today was a perfect example of what Chris says every single week. Every single one of these matches, zero stakes.
No stakes.
They're just straight up wrestling matches. And the people who are featured right now, they're going over in the matches.
Exactly.
It's that simple, bro. The jury duties going over. Everybody featured are going over in the matches. That's it. That's the formula of this show.
I was thinking about something the other day. I was like, with this 50-50 booking, which has just really, really lessened the interest substantially as far as pro wrestling is concerned. I remember back in early Raw days, and you would have like underdogs. You would have people who were like they were there because they were supposed to put someone over. They were the job guys. They were the enhancement talent, whatever you want to call it. So either had people who was that, people who won all the time, to beef up their character. And so, or people who were enhancement talent who got a win in and that made the win big because it was a shocker.
Mm-hmm.
When Barry Horowitz won, especially when the 1, 2, 3 kid beat Scott Hall, right? If Scott Hall was Razor Ramon at the time, if Razor Ramon was 50-50 all the time and 1, 2, 3 kid was 50-50 all the time, that moment wouldn't be as memorable as it was.
Great
the
point.
thing was, Razor Ramon was someone who always won. They always put him on Raw to beef up his character, and he would beat enhancement talent. 1, 2, 3 kid came in as an enhancement talent. The moonsault, 3 banana peel finish. Whoa, what happened? That moment was a moment that really cemented the trajectory of the 1, 2, 3 kid and made him a credible person because he was losing so much. It wasn't 50-50. It was shocked. Fans went bananas, you know what I mean? Yeah. And that's what helped him as a character.
And here's the point Dr. Chris is making in a nutshell. Dr. Chris is bringing up a moment from 30 years ago. Mm-hmm. You are going to wake up tomorrow morning and not be able to name one thing that was on this show.
Facts.
That is the difference, bro. Yep. 30 years ago, we remember that. As soon as this show is over, it is completely wiped from your memory, bro.
And that same person who was an enhancement talent, who was brought in as a job guy, is now a Hall of Famer in the WWE.
And rightfully so. And rightfully
so. Absolutely. And that goes to show when you focus on building characters of someone who was an underdog, who's now a Hall of Famer 30 years later, that goes to show that's what happens when you focus on characters instead of 50-50. If the same 50-50 concept was there, 1, 2, 3 kid would have been the same as an Ilya Dragunov. He'd have been the same as an Otis, a Gable, a Pete Dunne, everybody else. And I can't see any of those people that I just mentioned being WWE Hall of Famers.
Somebody's going to have to be.
Pete Dunne for the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yeah, somebody's going to have to be, or else there's going to be no Hall of Fame, bro.
It's going to be an empty Hall of Fame in about 7 years, man. Yeah. This new batch, it's going to be tough, man. It's going to be tough. We got Zubair, $10. Thoughts on Raw going to 2 hours for the last month of 2024, positive, but why not be the 9 to 11 instead of 8 to 10 like the old days, Joe? Testosterone's voice in this slow show couldn't survive NFL.
Well, they Zubair, they caught a break this week because it was a blowout. I still think the numbers are going to be horrible. Don't get me wrong. But if this was a competitive game, Chris, they would have gotten their lunch eaten tonight, bro.
Yeah. What do you think why do you think the decision is now? No, you said it's helping them transition into Netflix, but at the same time, I mean, that's, almost 3 months of ad revenue you're losing, for the last
That's why I think it's going to be permanent, bro. That's why I think it's going to be permanent.
Even at the risk of losing money, though?
Yes. I'm telling you, I don't think they would do this. I don't think, bro, they would go from 3 to 2 back to 3. I just don't think. I think they want to. They haven't formatted a 2-hour show in a long time. I think they want to get that back down to a formula. That's why I think they're doing it 3 months ahead of time. I'm going to tell you, I could be totally wrong, guys. I got no inside information or nothing, but I can't believe they're going to go back to 3 hours on Netflix.
I hope they don't, because that's an hour. That's an
hour
off that I can be.
Can you imagine, Chris? Like the next 3 months, we're going to have 2 hours. Can you imagine if they go back to 3? What that would be like for us?
Oof, man. And it's over at it'll be over at 10 Eastern now, and instead of 11 Eastern, man. That's an hour I get to relax with my
Yes.
wife instead
Yes,
of
sorry.
work.
Yes.
So, I'm all for that for sure. All right, we get Awesome Sauce, $5. Russo online that says we have a net worth of 1.5 mil. Didn't know the internet thoughts you're that loaded.
Where did they get that stuff from? Where do they? If I have 1.5 million, I'd love to know where it is, bro. Maybe it's in a Swiss bank account or something, Chris. I'd love to know
funds.
where it is. I don't know where they get that stuff from.
Unclaimed funds. I wanted to ask you real quick. The Hell in a Cell. We'll get to Drew's because I thought of you because I don't have glasses, but I thought of you with the Adam Pearce gimmick. And I just want Vince to take his glasses off during the show and just man, taking the glasses off really shows some serious now. But you actually coined, I remember us talking about this before, you actually coined the term Hell in the Cell, right? Not Hell in a Cell, because the gimmick was the cell, right?
Yeah, I want to make one thing perfectly clear. I did not come up with the concept of the match. That was not mine. That was Taker and Shawn did not want to be confined in just that cage.
Okay.
So that's how the concept was made, a bigger cell outside of the cage. So when I became a part of the conversation, there was no name for it.
Okay.
So, and bro, come on, let's just be honest. So when I'm thinking of a name, bro, what am I doing? I'm freaking rhyming words. That's all I'm doing. So I came up with Hell in the Cell. But the reason why, bro, it was Hell in the Cell was the cell was supposed to be a character, not a cell. Not that you could have this match in any cell.
Any cell, yeah.
The cell. And when you listen to JR putting this over for the first time, it is Hell in the Cell. And think about it, bro. Can you imagine if you're still touting the same cell 25 years later? That was the whole idea of it. Somehow, bro, either somebody in TV was just making graphics and didn't realize it, but it went from the cell to a cell, which means you could have this match in any cell. That wasn't the original concept, and it pisses me off because it would have been so much better for the cell itself to be an unforgiving character, bro.
Yeah. It makes it more dark. It makes it more sinister. You know what I mean? If it's the cell, because the cell is whoa, you want to avoid the cell. But Hell's been a bunch of places now. You know what I mean? It should be the cell should have been the same cell from 97.
Yeah, bro, can you imagine? You got the same cell. You still got Shawn's bloodstains on the cell. That was the beauty of it, bro. It's like Wrigley Field or Fenway Park. That was the beauty of it. That would have been such an added feature every time they break this thing out. It's the old cell, bro.
I love it. And then they put barbed wire on to top to close the top because Foley went Mankind went through it from Taker. Put some barbed wire on there now.
Absolutely, bro. But that just turned into a cell.
Let's just get another cell.
Yeah.
It's hell in here. Yeah. All right, we have Zoot Bear, $2. Phil Better Dog Sports Getting Protected. Our man, thank you, man. I appreciate it very, very much. So, Anthony,
there you go, bro.
Thank you, man.
Look at that, bro. Nice,
very much so. I appreciate it. I love my kids, man. There's just, it's like, not everybody wants kids, and that's okay, but it's just. I just really can't explain just the feeling of being a father. It's really indescribable, man. I absolutely love the snot of it.
Yeah, man, it's awesome.
Yeah, I took a split pic today of my son, and it was a pick of just a couple of weeks ago, and it was on the right side. The left side was when I was holding him in my arms, and he was 2 weeks old.
Oh man, that's awesome, bro.
I was kissing him on his forehead. His whole little body was on my chest at 2 weeks old back in 2012, man. So,
Chris, can I share a picture with you, because I am desperately trying to talk about anything else but Raw tonight.
Yes.
Chris, no BS. I literally came face to face with this yesterday. Okay, Chris, look at that thing.
Whoa,
bro, I was that close to this freaking beast. Yeah, bro, this is Colorado.
Man.
Bro, this dude, this whatever it is, was roaming the streets, bro. Look at that gimmick.
What, an antelope or something like that?
No, that's a full-blown elk, bro.
Oh, an elk, yeah.
Bro, look at the rack.
Those antlers could pierce your car in half, man.
Bro, I gotta tell you, when you're this up close to like a beast of nature like this, bro, you don't realize how massive. Like you don't realize it. I was blown away by that thing yesterday.
That's deep, man.
Yeah.
That's deep.
Yeah.
That's a huge it's a huge looking elk, man. Those antlers are, man.
Oh my God. Can you imagine, bro, that putting that head down and you're done.
Ramming.
You're done, bro.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yikes,
Yeah.
man.
And bro, it's funny, bro, because there was a point where people were getting too close and he started putting his head down and inching closer. And I'm like, bro, you people need to get the frig out of there, bro.
Yeah, I mean, y'all are Buffalo, right? That's y'all's.
Yes.
It's interesting. The Colorado elk doesn't seem like very as masculine.
Yeah,
and it's like, man, when you see one of those live, that's still a good fighting mascot for sure.
Chris, do you know, bro, about 2 years ago? This is a true story, bro. 2 years ago, I go out in my backyard, bro, and I go to my right, but I'm feeling some kind of a presence over my left shoulder. Chris, in my backyard, I turn around. I am face to face. It was a female, bro, so it didn't have the antlers.
Right.
I am face to face with like a 600-pound elk in my backyard. And bro, what had happened was this elk wandered all the way from Boulder to my neighborhood, bro. I'm about 30 minutes from Boulder. This elk walked the whole way, wound up in my freaking backyard.
What time was it?
Oh my God, bro. It was in the morning, about 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. I about crapped my drawers, bro. I ran so fast. And bro, I swear that's why I love Colorado, man, because you just don't know what you're gonna experience, man. You know?
That's right. Man, yeah. I would have paid to see your face.
Oh, bro. I mean, bro, you're not. That's the last thing in the world you're expecting. You know, it might as well have been a freaking bear. You know what I'm saying?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Unbelievable, bro. Unreal.
Wow. Let's see here. We got Zubair, $5. Thoughts on that useless leader who spotted All Out.
Bro.
Also thoughts on AEW not treating All Out like night 2 of WrestleMania, when before All In, All Out was their WrestleMania. Yeah, that's a good point, man.
Did you hear about all that, Chris?
I saw the clip of Paige injecting
syringe,
in the mouth. Yeah,
there was a knife. They put a plastic bag over a knife. They used the knife in one part. They put a plastic bag over Brian Daniels' head.
Yeah, I saw that. Attempted murder on pay-per-view, man.
Well,
that's desperate to me.
Oh my God, bro. It's like, bro, everything. It was when we go back to the Wyatt 6. Bro, this stuff has to be in the context of professional wrestling.
Sure.
It's got to make some kind of sense or logic. That's why, bro, when they came out the gate with that Wyatt 6 stuff, and you and I sat here and like, oh, okay, guys, now where? Now we just killed Chad Gable. Now what? You've got to keep everything in the context of wrestling.
Yeah. And I would say the funniest part of all this is to see the marquee, bloodthirsty, visceral, Coliseum, Roman Coliseum crowd was silent when they were experiencing someone basically get it. What's the point? Like, when they're booking stuff like that, it wasn't necessarily shock and awe. I was looking at, like I told you before, I always look at the front crowd just to kind of get the trajectory of the audience. And there were people just kind of look like, like what exactly are we supposed to do with this? Like, there's someone who's just putting a plastic bag around Daniel Bryan, and is he supposed to die? Like, what are we supposed to do?
Bro, I swear to God, if I'm sitting across from Ed Ferraro and just say something like that came up, say something like that just came up, whether it came from Ed or me, the other person is gonna sit there and say, okay, and then what? We arrest them?
Exactly.
That's the conversation we're going to have.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's what.
And there was one person, I think it was like a cameraman or something like that, and like Marina Shafir and Cesaro was just kind of blocking them, like, oh, you know what I mean? It is like, so you're not going to have anybody help someone who's basically getting murdered.
No, not at
national
all.
Television.
Not at all.
We're supposed to suspend disbelief, but somehow we're just allowing murder to happen right now.
And not only that, Chris, think about this, bro. Think about this. Where are you gonna go from there?
I was thinking the exact same.
What's next, guys? Like, really, what's next? What are we doing next, bro?
I'm about payoffs, man. I was thinking the exact same thing. I'm like, okay, so he had an attempted murder on national television, was basically suffocated, and now you're supposed to one up an attempted murder. What's next? You're actually going to off him? I mean, like, what are we doing here? And like every single week.
Think about if I would have written that stuff. Think about that.
Oh, yeah, you would have been canceled.
Oh my God, bro! Are you kidding me?
Speaking of Netflix, that would be a Netflix documentary in and of itself. Vince Russo kills.
Here's something really interesting, and hopefully Raju, if Raju is listening this, I'd love to go down this whole rabbit hole on one of our other shows. Chris, you're in negotiations with Warner Brother Discovery for a new TV deal, and why in God's name would you take any kind? Bro, all it takes is one. Bro, it could be somebody's wife. Yep. It could be a network executive's wife.
Yep.
And all it takes is one person saying, wait a minute. You want to be in business with this company who's using a syringe and a knife and suffocate? Why would you take that risk?
Wonder if one of the executives just don't even follow the product and just wanted to sit down with the family. It was like, yeah, let's just. I heard this is one of their big shows. Let me just check it out and see. And so you had like their 12-year-old and your 14-year-old and their 10-year-old just kind of sitting there, and they're experiencing this. And I would be absolutely embarrassed if I'm allowing my wife and kids to sit down while someone is trying to suffocate someone, and someone is literally putting a syringe in someone's mouth and injecting him with a needle. I mean, what type of pitch is this to renew a contract of Warner Brothers Discovery? Great point, because at the end of the day, it's like, if anything, that night could have single-handedly rescinded all types of negotiations with Warner Brothers.
And it's still good. And maybe it did. We don't know if it did not. Yeah. Chris, I swear to God, I remember we had a scene in the Attitude Era where Jackie and Marlena was supposed to be seducing Mark Henry. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I told them, go out and get whatever you'd use to seduce him. Because I've never, So, bro, Terry comes back with, I had never, ever seen this before. I had no idea what it was.
Mm-hmm.
It was a ball gag. Okay. It's like a ball and it has straps on it. If you saw the movie Pulp Fiction, you know what the ball. So she comes back with this ball gag. I didn't even know what it was. They put the ball gag on Mark Henry. Bro, do you know what blowback we got from that?
Really?
From that, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God. People went ballistic over that.
Mm.
And now we're sticking needles in people's mouths, bro. Like, okay, bro. Really?
And it wasn't even a series of events. Like the syringe gate and Suffogate was the same night. It was the same event. So again, if you're trying to pitch this on the same night, I don't know how a network executive could go ahead and give this a pass. You know what I mean? It just doesn't seem like that was a good call.
Let me put on your psychologist hat again. Because this is what I'm really trying to break this down and understand this. So the question I have is, why? Are we going to tune in next week to see if you try to suffocate somebody else? Are we going to tune in next week to see if you put a syringe in somebody else's mouth? So my question to you, Chris, is why? What is the psychology behind this?
Yeah, it's Tony Khan. He's someone who you could tell who just really thrives on seeking validation. Like you could tell that, and the way that he's booking his program is to get the validation from the crowd. Like I said before in other shows, Tony Khan doesn't care about dwindling numbers. He cares about the house saying this is awesome throughout the show. That's what he really cares about, because he wants the affirmation. Because when he sees the house do that, he's the one booking that. So he's like, oh, look at my creation. Look what I'm doing. Look at the crowd. Look what they're doing. Look what they're saying. And every week he thrives on that attention-seeking behavior. And he looks at the house, he looks at the crowd, and he sees that they're enjoying it. He doesn't care about anything. Clearly, he doesn't care about anything. He doesn't care about risking a television deal at the expense of seeking the attention and validation from the crowd, of saying, theoretically, I mean, it didn't happen that way, but theoretically, the crowd is going to be so enamored with this that's the talk of the town. You're going to be talking about this, and for weeks and years to come. He thrives on that attention. And 5 years, you've lost half of your audience. And clearly, that's not the business model that he's going for. The business model that he's going for is, how can we appease the house every single week? And knowing that we have a type of market in the pro wrestling industry that anything you feed them, they'll eat and they'll lap. I mean, it works perfectly for him. But the problem is, you start to get to a point where you start to plateau, and then you start to go higher and higher and higher and higher. And we saw that with All In or All Out, with the attention-seeking type of behavior, trying to appease that bloodthirsty crowd, man. And you see that. I mean, case in point, Vince. Darby Allin did a senton through glass.
Yeah.
During the Sting match, he was booked to do a spot where he missed someone, because usually during those spots, a wrestler breaks your fall. Like, you want the wrestler to be there so the wrestler will break her fall. No wrestler broke his fall. He just did a straight senton spot.
Yeah.
Tony Khan looks at that. He looks at the crowd. Holy S. And Tony Khan's that's his dopamine rush, man.
And meanwhile, that was Sting's last match, and who'd all the attention go to?
Darby, exactly. Exactly.
Yep. That tells you Tony Khan doesn't understand the first thing about professional wrestling, bro. You got Sting's last match, 30-something plus career, and he's outstaged by that. That tells you right there, this dude don't have a clue, bro.
Yep. Exactly. Let's see here. We have David, $2.
Yes.
RP James, 93 years old, man.
Yeah, what a voice. What an actor.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think about that. Like, isn't your father 93?
93, bro. My dad's 93, man. Yep.
Wow, that's I mean, for someone to be 93 and just, I mean, that age alone is just, I just commend people. I just, man, that's amazing, man. It really is. Yeah. Zubair, $2 thoughts on WWE calling this Raw season premiere.
Why do they do that, Chris? I don't understand. What is the point of that?
To try to create some type of newness and freshness because of the colors, because of the pro football.
Yeah,
that's basically what they're doing. So they want people to stay. Like, this is a season. This is that we're going to give you a presentation that you can't miss, right?
Yeah, you better stay, bro, because if you don't, the last 2 minutes you're going to miss Kevin Dunn and Dragunov in the ring, bro. So you better don't go anywhere, bro, because the last 2 minutes of this show, man.
Kevin Dunn is wrestling now, and he's no longer in the truck.
Kevin Dunn is dragging off in there at 10:58, bro.
He's no longer the production truck.
I'm watching. I swear to God, I'm watching Pete Dunne's entrance, and I'm like, bro, this dude's got freaking chicken legs, and he's in the main event of Raw, bro, and he's got freaking chicken legs.
That's who they're going for now, man. That's who they're going for. We have Corey, $1.99. Natalia was a house show move. Definitely was a house show move.
Oh, of course, 1,000%.
Definitely was a house show move. Season premiere though, so
season premiere, Corey. Yep.
Yeah. Anthony, $5. Get ready, one more month until the final boss to return. You think the Rock will return anytime this year?
I hope so for their sake, bro. I hope so for their sake, man. I really do.
I agree. David, $2. Bypass today's guys. Put Main Street Posse in the Hall of Fame.
Bro, I tell you right now, if I'm looking at this roster right now, they deserve to be in the Hall of Fame before 80% of the current roster right now.
Main Street Posse. Who was it? Rodney. He ended up start doing some indie stuff, and then Pete Gas. I think he was kind of in and out. Like he just was like, because Joey Abs was not Shane's real friend, right?
He was a wrestler we added in there. Yeah.
He from what I remember, he was like the Hardys friend. Like he was wrestling in North Carolina with them, I think. Yeah. But Rodney and Pete Gas was Shane's legit friends, right? Yeah. Interesting. And they didn't have any wrestling experience before then?
Zero.
Wow.
Yeah.
They learned pretty quick, man.
Yeah.
How was that? How were they to work with Main Street Posse?
Oh, yeah, no, bro. What happened was they were just supposed to do some vignettes. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't there to produce the vignettes. They did them at the studio. And then I watched the vignettes and I'm like, are you kidding me? These guys are characters on the show. Like there ain't no way these guys got to be on the show every week.
Yeah, it made sense too, man. It was a really good way to add layers to Shane's, you know, just kind of, son, rich kid pedigree type of character. So I thought they were cool, man. Brian, 199, thoughts on Joey Testosterone's performance. What do you think about Joey?
I don't pay attention to the announcers, bro. Like, my God, it's hard enough for me to watch the show. I'm not listening to the
I pay attention to the announcers just because I think it really adds a much needed element to keep the viewer interested. Jim Ross, of course, he's really the pinnacle of that. But man, I'm trying, Vince. I really am trying with him. He'll have his moments, man, but it's hard. Like I told you before, I love college football. It does a good job. It does really good with boxing commentary. But as far as play-by-play, man, I'm not sold yet, man. I mean, it took Cole, to me, 10 years, to really get in his stride.
Bro,
but,
I got to tell you, I've just been filling in, and I've been doing some color on Rocky Mountain Pro. Bro, I got to be honest with you. Bro, this is wrestling. This is not real. This is fake. This is entertainment. Bro, give me a freaking entertainer. Like,
Sure.
Seriously, give me a Jerry the King Lawler. Give me a Bobby the Brain Heenan. Give me a Jesse Ventura. This is not real, bro. This is not a real sport. Give me an entertainer out there, bro. That's what they're missing.
What do you think about, speaking of that, because Wade is the one who's doing color. What do you think about his color?
He's not an entertainer, bro. He's not. I mean, I'm
Yeah, I think he's doing okay in color. I think that, for someone who was a solid mid-card, wrestler, finding his stride in color commentary, I think he's doing pretty good. But I totally agree with you as far as like the need to have a Jesse Ventura, Jerry Lawler, like the color commentary.
Savage was on color.
Yeah, he sure was. He sure was with Vince. And I think you have to have that. I mean, it's color commentary. So you have to have that presentation as a color commentator, as someone who has that type of kind of flamboyant, colorful type of look to them or personality to them.
I think a color commentator needs to be over the top. And
Agreed.
Wade Barrett, listen, I have nothing against Wade Barrett. I think he's a solid talent. He's not over the top as a color commentator.
Right. Yeah, he needs to be like the play-by-play is the straight guy.
Yes.
To the colorfulness of the commentator next to him that works with him. I mean, JR and King, perfect example.
Yep.
Vince and Jesse Ventura, Gorilla and Bobby Heenan. You know what I mean? So it's that same type of dynamic throughout, the generation.
And bro, look at the teams we're naming. Do you think 20 years from now we're going to be talking about Wade Barrett and whatever his name is?
You're right. Gorilla Monsoon, Bobby Heenan, Wade Barrett, and Joe Tessitore.
Yeah, exactly. Come on, bro. Stop.
That's not going to happen. No, it's not going to happen. Zubair, $5. With WWE bringing back Bret Hart tonight, when they're going to realize they need larger in life characters again? These legends ain't going to be around forever, man. At this point, Vince, man, it just saddens me looking at these wrestlers that were larger than life, so much before. It saddens me to see just the kind of decrepitness of someone who was such a superhero. I think you got to protect someone's character when it comes to that stuff, man. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you 1000%, bro. I do. And I wouldn't, I don't know, bro. Bret has had such a storied career. And what, bro? Now he's out there playing second banana to Sami Zayn. Bro, I wrote, there used to be, Chris, there used to be a thing, and I'll explain it to everybody. In baseball, if you ever hit below 200, you may have heard this, Chris, they would refer to that as the Mendoza line.
Yep.
Because there was this baseball player, Mario Mendoza, who is infamous for hitting less than 200. So if a player is ever 200, they call it the Mendoza line. I'm in there tonight, and I swear I'm watching Sami Zayn stand next to Bret Hart, and now Bret Hart's getting the Sami Zayn rub, and I'm saying to myself, bro, literally, this looks like Mario Mendoza next to Tony Gwynn. That's what that looked like to me. And Bret's getting please. And then again, bro, he's getting in freaking Gunther's face, and it looks like Gunther is backing down from this guy.
And then he took him out. Like Gunther got no offense that whole segment. I mean,
bro,
what the heck are we doing?
I
50-50, man.
I swear to God, I am not kidding you. And maybe one day I'll run into him at a convention or something. I swear to you, bro, I am 63 years old. Okay. If Sami Zayn got in my face, I would not back down from freaking Sami Zayn, let alone freaking Gunther, bro. I don't get it, Chris. I don't know what they're freaking doing, man.
Going back to my 1, 2, 3 kid Razor Ramon example, that would be like a segment of like who was a Bruno, you know, I mean, back in '93, having basically coming out and, having one of they're in New York and Bruno comes out and, he says, okay, hey, how's it going? Madison Square Garden, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden you have Razor Ramon come out and kind of goes toe to toe with Bruno as Bruno starting, his legend, his superheroes, larger than life starting to fade down. And then all of a sudden, the 1, 2, 3 comes out. The 1, 2, 3 kid comes out, goes toe to toe the Razor Ramon, and just takes him out for the segment. Yep. Like, that's the 50-50 stuff that we've gotten so conditioned to nowadays that it makes no one look bigger, man.
Bro, I swear you can go back and look at the Attitude Era, bro. Shawn Michaels did not back down from The Undertaker, ever. And Gunther's going to back down from Sami Zayn? Okay. All right. I believe that. I believe that, bro.
Exactly. Let's see here. We have Hayes, $5. Hey, Vince, Violent J of ICP was on Nash's podcast and say he wants you to be a part of their new book.
Bro, I'm in. I was big fans of those guys, bro. Bro, you know what I loved about them, Chris? Here's my favorite story about these guys. I love those guys. I really do. But Chris, bro, they would be scheduled for a Nitro or a Raw, whatever. Bro, when they're scheduled for the show at 12 o'clock, there's a billion juggalos in the parking lot playing frisbee, throwing.
Really?
They're all over the place, the juggalos. And they're out there, bro, playing with the juggalos.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, an hour before showtime, nobody can find these guys. They're gone. I can't tell you how many times they did. Bro, they're there all day and then an hour before the show. But these guys, bro, they were great. I mean, it's funny, man, because Chris, when you worked with like outside celebrities, they were either way into it or not into it at all. There was like no middle ground. ICP was into it. Bro, you know who else was really, really freaking into it that I was very impressed by? When Vampiro brought the Misfits.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And they were Jerry Only is a huge star. They were into it. And that's what I always found, bro. They were either 1,000% into it or did not want to be there. It was one of the two.
You said Tyson was really into it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, 1,000%.
Yeah, that's interesting. Who came up with the oddities idea?
Oh man, bro, that's a really good question, bro. I really think it was, when you go back to the origins of it, bro, I think it was Vince. And I remember a couple of things, bro. These two things I do remember. Vince thought it was the funniest thing in the world to have a wrestler who couldn't get pinned because he was a hunchback. Okay, that's number one. And then I also know, and we talk about this all the time, Sable's punishment was to be put with the oddities.
Yes, she was a part of the oddities.
That was 1,000% a punishment for Rena Mero, courtesy of Vince McMahon. Those things I remember.
Because she had to get along with Luna at that time too, man.
Yeah, and bro, I think that's when, like, I see, bro, like, I think that's when there was talk about her suing the company. See, I didn't get involved. That was JR's area. Like, I don't want to know who's suing who. That's got nothing to do with me. But I think that's when all that stuff was happening.
Did he come up with the idea of Tinta and the mask as well?
Yeah.
That was a Vince thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
Tinta ended up losing a bunch of weight that before he came back. He was pretty. It was hard to notice that it was Tinta, behind the mask because he was so large before. It's like earthquake and stuff like that, and he lost a bunch of weight and was very agile. So, how did he feel about going from main eventing against Hogan to?
Bro, I'll tell you. Here's what I think happened. I think he needed a job. So I think he wound up calling Vince kind of like graveling. And because of that, I got a job for you, bro. We're going to give you a hunchback and put a mask on you. How about that? I'm telling you, bro, that's how stuff like that happens.
Because WCW just, man. Because they had he had a little bit of momentum when he was with the Dungeon of Doom, but then they got sued with the gimmick as far as just it being too close to like Earthquake.
Yeah.
So they just pulled back on him, and then he was like, "I'm not a shark, I'm not an animal," and it was just a bland. They made him just a bland person, and it was pretty bad, man. It was sad.
You got to think about something, bro. When you look at those characters, when you look at like Earthquake and kind of characters of that ilk, bro, how many of them were over because of Hogan?
Yeah.
Seriously, Hogan was such a huge baby face. Yeah. If anybody came in that was a heel and you put them against Hogan, they were going to be over.
I mean, to your point, he was over in WCW because he was part of the Dungeon of Doom. So, I mean, the whole point of Dungeon of Doom, according to Kevin Sullivan, was to end Hulkamania. And Savage ended up being with Hogan in that big match with them in the Dungeon of Doom, but they just were throwing characters out there.
Nobody brings that up. How many of those heels would have never been over if it wasn't for how over Hulk was, bro?
100%. I mean, look, dude, the Yeti. I mean, come on, man. I mean, what are we doing here, man? It was. I mean, the Dungeon of Doom was. I mean, your boy. The kind of the mastermind behind it. He was
not Kevin Sullivan.
No, he was a Taskmaster, but the what's his last name? He was a part of he was a part of the family too. His the other Paisley was the Iakea. That's his name. Iakea. Yeah. He was in Iakea. And then, because Prince Iakea was, because you changed his gimmick too, right? Like he was the artist formerly known as, he did like a Prince type of deal.
The artist formerly known as Prince Iakea, bro. Hey, bro, but that's where Paisley started.
Yeah, man, that's right. yeah. Charmel Sullivan or Charmel.
Yes,
now,
yes.
Now we have classic 499. Can you find and play what Logan Paul said about Kevin Nash? What a low-life disgusting. He doesn't deserve to be in the business he knows nothing about. What do you think? What do you think about that?
I got to be honest with you, bro. Kevin Nash is my boy. I will love and put Kevin over to the moon. But Chris, I got to tell you this, man. If somebody is offering to give Logan Paul that type of money for the schedule he had, what's Logan Paul not supposed to take?
Exactly.
That's not Logan's Paul. Kevin, like, that's not Logan Paul's fault. If somebody's going to give this guy $5 million, no house shows, make an appearance on Raw here and there, Logan Paul's supposed to say no?
And the person who really started to really the mastermind behind the guaranteed contracts, Kevin Nash. If there's anybody who's a businessman, it's Kevin Nash, and so he would know. He would know.
I'm sure what Kevin is saying is 1,000% correct. Dad, do you think the boys like that?
Yeah.
Absolutely not. And that's why Kevin says, this is for the boys.
Yeah.
But brother, somebody's paying him that money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't think anyone would deny that.
No, man. No, I Chris, I don't know about you, but I am always like that. I don't care what your profession is. That's why, bro, people don't understand. I never had a problem with Hulk having creative control. If they were going to give it to him, was he not supposed to take it?
Yeah, with that vantage point, man, it's hard to deny. It's hard to say, well, no, I'm good.
Yeah, right, exactly, right. Yeah, Logan Paul. Yeah, no, I'll work house shows. Yeah. No, bro, come on, man.
Yeah. We got Zubair, $5. Wrestling is supposed to look realistic, but also safe and protective for performers, not legit hurting or killing them with strong style crap and dump spots.
Oh, it's funny, Zubar, because I was watching when I talk about the last 2 minutes when Kevin Dunn and Dragunov were in there. Dragunov was doing these moves that were so, Chris, ridiculously unnecessary. Every time he hit him, he was doing the spin punch gimmick. Then he bounces off the ropes, came through. Get the frig out of here. Bro, you're really going to do that in a real fight, bro? Seriously? If you're in a bar fight.
I was going to say, imagine a bar fight.
You're going to stand there and spin around, bro, before you hit the guy. Bro, it's so stupid. And it looks so stupid outside of the marks, bro.
Yeah, but hey, they eat it all up, man. They eat it all up. Yeah. We got Brian Vince. You think JD McDonagh could sell out a high school?
Absolutely not.
It's hard to disagree with that, man. $5 Match Mania. Triple H really brought back a bunch of losers with no gravitas. It sucks that his personal favorites are the ones we have to try to get invested in. I think that's well said. Yeah.
I hate the favoritism, Chris, and I hate it so much because I can tell you, for every company I ever worked with, I never played that game. And there were some guys I was closer to than other guys, bro. It was about making money.
Sure.
It was about making money. That's what it was all about, bro.
Yep. Matchmania says $5. Raw was completely worthless tonight. The crowd was awful and super quiet. I wonder if anyone turned off football to watch Sonya Deville.
And what did they do, bro? And bro, all this, I even forgot. What is the name of that group again?
Pure Fusion Collective.
The Pure Fusion Collective, bro. They're, bad, what's bad, bad, what's. Natalia's in a hometown of Calgary, so they're doing the job. Okay, bro.
This is the same Natalia that is the resident enhancement talent for the new people who come. So the Kiana James who does nothing now, the Lyra Vikera who does nothing now.
Who I don't even know.
Tegan Knox, exactly. Yeah. She's tweeting now that she wants airtime. That's how desperate she is to get airtime. I think it's been since January or something like that since she's been on air. But this is the person who basically is the entry level for someone to get over.
Yes.
This is the same person who's stopping any type of momentum of Pure Fusion Collective. Again, it goes back to the 50-50. Why are you putting them together and giving them a name and a Titantron and matching gear just for them to lose to someone like an Natalia? It's going to take nothing. It's going to be a nothing. There's nothing about this next week.
And Chris, what you're talking about there is all money and investment.
Correct.
It's all not free. The Titans are putting packages together and
right.
That's not free. Right. That is an investment. So you're gonna invest all this money, and then at the end of the investment, they're gonna be 50-50.
Correct. Yep. And you're paying for gear. Wrestlers have to pay for gear. You have to do all of that. Yep. And you're making the investment from your pocket just for a few weeks later, yeah, Natalia's going to be doing it. Yeah, we're going to have to lay down to Natalya and Lyra and Zelina Vega. 3 wrestlers who was as 50-50. I would even say Lyra's 50-50. Zelina and Natalya are usually on the losing end of every match that they're in.
Yeah.
And these are the people who's going to derail Pure Fusion Collective.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make sense to me whatsoever. If anything, wouldn't you want to get the heat on Pure Fusion Collective and have them beat Natalya and just absolutely obliterate Natalya in her hometown of Calgary? If, again, who's over? I say this all the time. After every segment, out of every match, who's over? Neither team is over, because this isn't going to be a 3-person team that we're going to see every week with Natalya. But we are with Pure Fusion Collective, though.
Based on what you're saying, listen to what you just said, Chris. And you and I, we sit here and we think of this stuff off the top of our heads. Listen to what you're saying. Other than Bret Hart standing there and needs Sami Zayn to put him over. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Bro, instead of that, what if they do exactly what you said? They're getting heat on Natalya. They're getting heat on Natalya. Bro, that's Bret's spot. You hit Bret Hart's music and Bret comes out that's all you need to do. Yeah. Not him standing there having freaking bro, having Sami Zayn put you over is like, bro, it's like freaking Bugs Bunny putting over like the Brad Pitt. Like, give me a freaking break, bro. Seriously, that's all you had to do, Chris, right there. Can you imagine you hit Bret's music?
Oh,
that place explodes. The heels powder. That's how you use Bret.
That's it right there. Absolutely. We have Star Tracker, $5. A lot of guys seem miscast. Example, Drew seems too nice to be bad. The Judgment Day should be scary dudes. Wyatt 6, God help us all. I'll let you run through that here in a little bit. That Wyatt 6 thing. Match money at $5. Apparently, they're making SmackDown 3 hours at least this week. Yeah, it's supposed to be 3 hours.
No, that's a bad joke.
No.
It's unbelievable to me, bro. It's unreal to me, man. Bro,
they're going to get their money somehow.
Chris, I am down to SmackDown. I go to YouTube, the top 10 highlights of SmackDown. It's usually about 12 minutes. That's it. That's all they're getting out of me, bro.
Yeah. I don't blame you, man. Rollins in the building, $5. Razor versus Kid was interesting. Do you think that the late Scott Hall would have agreed that upset Angle?
He wasn't his clique brother at that moment. He wasn't his clique brother at that point, bro. They did not have a close, friendly relationship at that point. Razor liked him.
Yeah.
And Razor wanted to help him, but they were not close buddies at that point.
Yeah. The question he asks is, do you think that the late Scott Hall would have agreed that to that upset of Angle if Sean Waltman wasn't his clique brother? Yeah.
He wasn't his clique brother at that time.
He wasn't. Yep, exactly. Anthony Giuliano, $2. No one comes close to Jerry Lawler and Jim Ross. I like Gorilla and Heenan, man. I'm old school. I agree, Jerry Lawler and Jim Ross.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the pinnacle. That's the standard bearer. But I mean, Gorilla and Bobby were so. Will you stop? I love Gorilla and Vincent Ventura was good too, man. Yeah. Star Trekker, $5. Also, why was the new announcer saying Raw is outrageous and the Wyatt 6 were so entertaining for us and in that it's fake? Yeah, I agree. Good point. The Wyatt 6 were somehow entertaining, man. That doesn't make any sense. All right, Vince. Thank you. First of all, thank you for all those daggone super chats, man.
Yeah, thank you.
And
guys.
Then two, take us through the show, man.
Yeah, guys, we open with the 8-man tag because, again, they know Monday Night Football is on, so they want you to hopefully watch at least this. But let's look about that. Let's look at the predictability throughout this entire show. Bro, are they going to do something with the Wyatt 6 or American Made? Wyatt 6. So Wyatt 6 is going over. Then we go to a Bela Priest promo. And what's going to happen, Chris? Rhea Ripley's going to make that. Bro, this is why I'm telling you guys, this is a house show.
Yep.
They did the same thing, same exact thing last week in a different city.
Wasn't I talking about the loop? Did not say that. Wasn't I saying that? It's a loop.
It's a loop.
There's another loop.
So we're going to do the same exact thing, but we're in Calgary. We're going to do the same exact thing.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had Fire and Ice against Bel Air Cargill. The babies go over. So what do we do with Fire and Ice now? Bro, I'm telling you, Chris, we made the comparison last week. Fire and Ice are this month's Whoop Whoops.
Yep.
And who's going to be next month's Fire and Ice?
Natalia and Lyra.
Yeah, maybe.
Probably. And then they'll go back in the line and somebody else will come up there.
Bro, this was the best thing in the night, I swear, because I wasn't I thought he was going to say Shawn Michaels. I wasn't expecting this. But then we have the Bret Hart. He got a nice pop, which is great. But that's good for Bret to get all his desserts. But then when Gunther said his favorite wrestler was Bill Goldberg, that popped me.
Oh, I loved it. I loved when he said that. I said, I love
it. Goldberg. Yeah, that popped me. But then here came.
I wonder if Bret you think he knew about that beforehand?
Oh, yeah. I think if so? Not for anything, they wanted to make sure they didn't piss him off.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So yeah, I guarantee.
I loved it though. I loved it.
I loved it. Then the Sami thing is like, oh, bro, please stop with this guy, for crying out loud. Then, guys, we got Dragon Lee and Dominic. Who are they going with? It's all about Dominic and Judgment Duty. So waste our time for the next 10 minutes, and Dominic's going over. Like, this is what and again, guys, there's a football game on.
Yeah.
So what am I watching this match for? The wrestling moves?
Right, exactly.
So then we go, Chris. We got like we talked about PFC. They call themselves now, bro. PFC against Vega, Velcro, and Natalia in the hometown. Baby's over. We just killed PFC. We then go to the Drew McIntyre promo again. Pierce makes the Hell in a Cell match.
What does he do?
Huh?
What does Pierce do?
He makes the Hell in a Cell match.
How'd he do it?
What do you mean?
How'd he do it? He took his glasses off.
Oh, yeah, he took his glasses.
That was your alley-oop to do the glasses. Well, you gotta take the glass. You gotta take the glasses off and go straight.
Yeah, that's you need a GM that you're either afraid of or has balls and will screw you over. Like that's why, Nick Aldis. Okay, bro. Nick will get physical with you, and then you had a guy like Eric Bischoff. Mm-hmm. Eric will screw you. Yeah. Where's Pierce in that? Yeah. But anyway, then I
just want you to take your glass off and say "Hell in a Cell." Give it to us, man. There you go.
Hell in a Cell. Then we got, bro, Ray and Balor. Who we going with, bro? Jury duty. So Balor's going over. Then we got the main event, bro. Dragunov, Yitron. First of all, you knew you knew Bronson Reed was coming out.
Of course. I said it last week. Yep.
You said it last week. So now, bro, we've got Dragunov, Kevin Dunn, and freaking Yeet. Who's going over there, bro?
Dragunov. Or P-Dunn.
Who's going over, bro?
Right, exactly.
Guys, I swear to God, I'm doing a coach now. I'm doing a show, Chris, on Sportskeeda with Coach. Mm-hmm. And Coach is into all that, online betting and stuff. And bro, there's going to be Coach is going to introduce wrestling. There's, where to go to bet on these guys. Guys, I am telling you.
Let me know.
Chris and I will make you a fortune.
My goodness,
literally, bro, you got this 4-way. If you're not putting your house and life savings on Jey Uso, you're an idiot.
No yeet.
You're an idiot, bro. No yeet. There's no way they're putting anybody else in this match over. No way, bro.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, if Coach does this, we're gonna make you guys a small fortune.
Yes, indeed. Before we go, Rollin, $10. We got did Hall sacrifice his main event position by letting Kid go over? His gimmick looked less serious. Hall was 6'7", 290. Only Nash was bigger, yet all of his clique had the world title except Hall and Kid.
I don't think so, Rollin, because if you go back and watch the match, it told a story where Scott was not taking him seriously.
Mm-hmm.
We see, bro, that it was Mike Tyson and Buster Douglas, right?
Yep.
So when it happened, like, it came out of nowhere. So I don't think that hurt Scott Hall at all. But I understand what you're saying, Roland.
Yeah, it just didn't seem like he was slated. There was really a spot like for him. I think about this a lot, man. I think about like the people talk about like uncrowned world champions, like the Owen Harts and the Mr. Perfects and things like that.
Yeah.
I think that you could find a spot for like an Owen Hart, like if he would have beat Bret in the cage match and SummerSlam, and had a short run, or if Perfect, would have won, he could have beat Hogan, real quick. I know him and Hogan was going at it. I think it was a Saturday Night's main event. Him and Poffo was a part of it. Lanny Poffo was a part of it too. But man, it's hard to really find a spot where Hall was like there. I know that I think it was 92, like Royal Rumble, if I'm not mistaken, he went against Bret for the title around there, 92, 93. But at the same time, he was just still super new, and I just couldn't find really a spot to slide Razor in there.
Well, you see, bro, that's the thing, man. Bro, that's a curse. When you have such a strong character, you don't need the title.
Just like Jake.
Bro, we can go Rick Rude, Jake, Mr. Perfect, Roddy Piper. That's what it is, bro. They're going to put the belt on somebody that needs it and can use help. You're not going to put the belt on great characters. You don't have to, bro.
Yeah. And it's hard for me to say like wrestlers didn't need the belt, because and I understand it, but it's like, man, that's you become a wrestler to have the legend.
You're right.
You know what I mean?
Then you become so good that it doesn't matter.
True, but it's like, man, that former world champion moniker is just, you know what I mean? That just goes with you in legacy. So yeah. All right, Awesome Sauce Perfect was Hogan's lowest drawing opponent. Well, I mean, there you go, $2. I mean, here's the thing with Perfect, though. To me,
how do we know that? Like,
I don't know that. I mean,
I love Awesome Sauce. I mean, I'm not questioning you, but I don't know if I really want to take your word.
Yeah, because Hogan went against Lanny Poffo when he was.
You got to give me some. You got to give me some backup.
You got to give me some data. But yeah, I was going to say, even if that was the case, one, they never had like an actual major feud, you know what I mean? I think that would have helped.
Maybe it was a one-off. Yeah,
it was a one-off. Yeah, man. So I think that's kind of apples to oranges when you're comparing them to Giant and Bundy. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to do that. All right, Vince, let them know where to find you, my man.
Guys, check me out all the time, man. russosbrand.com. You'll get all my information there, bro.
So you say you got a new show where out here?
Yeah, right here on Sportskeeda, bro. Me and Coach, man, working together for the first time, and it's not just wrestling, Chris. We cover football, bro.
Oh,
so it's football, wrestling. Okay. It's a nice hybrid. It's every Monday and Thursday right here on Sportskeeda at 7:00.
7:00 Eastern. Nice.
Yes, sir.
Right,
yes,
sounds good. This guy right here is Vince Russo. I'm Dr. Chris. This is the Legion of Raw. Have a good night, everybody. So long.